This master storyteller has been transforming individuals and organizations worldwide with his spellbinding stories, engaging activities, and reflective deliberations. He has inspired inner transformation to achieve peak performance mindset in 300 plus corporations and academic institutions in Asia, Europe, and Africa with his engineering happiness programs. He has been a guiding force to more than 75,000 business leaders and youth worldwide in their pursuit for excellence. He was conferred with the Friend of Africa Award for Social Impact at Pan Award Humanitarian Summit 2019 for his Engineering Happiness Tour of Africa and inspiring 1 million Smiles in Africa campaign. He has been conferred 51 Most Fabulous Global Happiness Leaders Award. This was at the World HRD Congress. He has conducted peak performance mindset workshops for Indian junior hockey team, Pro-Kabaddi League, and the Indian Army. Dr. Arun is a gold medalist in BTech from National Institute of Technology, an MBA from California State University, and a PhD focusing on nurturing happiness and peak performance mindset in organizations. His engineering happiness transformation framework is transcending individuals and organizations from where they are to where they aspire to be. Welcome to this webinar series, Dr. Arun. It's a pleasure for us to listen to you on this Saturday morning. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Ananta, for that very kind introduction. Good morning to everyone, and good afternoon, good evening if you are outside of India. Such a pleasure that I'm connecting and I'm getting this opportunity through eVidyaloka to connect and touch all of your lives. And I always believe that this is what a coincidence we can say, if I had to use my engineering background. What a coincidence that we are getting to talk to each other today. But if I have to welcome you based on my spiritual experiences of recent past, then I have to say this moment was meant to be. There was hardly any probability that I'll get a chance to talk to you, but this moment probably was meant to be. Today, I was meant to touch your lives, and you were meant to enrich my life and my experiences. So with that as a beginning, let me invite you. I'll just share my presentation with you. Ms. Anta, if you can give me the host privileges.
Yes, I'll give it to you right away. Yes.
And please, you can also use chat box if you have any comments, suggestions, thoughts. And as Ananta said, you can also use Q&A. I will be monitoring the chat box.
Yes, so I will. Yes, Doctor, you will be able to share now.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm able to see this now. So let's start with Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Let's give our conversation a musical start. What is engineering happiness, you must be wondering, because they seem like two paradoxical words. So here it is. So this is what I have spent my last 10 years on. I think, were you able to hear the sound? Probably not, because I did not share it with the sound on. Just
we could hear it, Doctor. We were able to hear it, yes.
You were able to hear it, okay.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm told that all of you who are with us today, most of you are volunteering with this noble thought of imparting your knowledge and sharing your knowledge with the next generation of students in your areas, wherever you have come from, wherever you have grown, and you want to give this back to society. What a noble thought. And I think that's the beginning of this whole concept of engineering happiness. People often ask me, what is the easiest way of experiencing happiness? And I said, and I often tell them, based on a lot of my own experience and evidence of research, the easiest way of experiencing true long-term happiness in life is doing something for someone without expecting anything back. And that's exactly what all of you are involved in. And that's why I was very eager and excited to be with all of you. So, like all of you, I was also happily working with corporates. I worked with companies like Samsung. I was in Korea for 3-4 years. I worked with Lucent Bell Labs in US for 10 years or so. My last job was, before that I was with Motorola in India. Last job was with Dell. I was handling the Asia Pacific business for certain segment like business alliances, strategic alliances, etc. So I had, I think, success as per social norms. I was getting enough salary that I did not think I deserved even. But something was missing. And I think that's where all of us share this common journey. What was missing was this thought that although I have success and monetary terms, I have, comforts of life, but what is my significance? What is the significance of my life? What is the meaning of my life? And this search for deeper meaning took me out of this shell of living in a corporate life and started my new journey, voyage into this exploration into science of happiness, art and science of happiness. I'm going to share some of this with you today. Obviously, since we are talking in terms of eVidyaloka context, so it's going to be more around teaching and transforming lives. So this is going to be my role. And in a way, isn't that your role also, whatever you are doing right now, the role of a candle? And this analogy I have picked from our Gurukul system of education. The teacher was approached by students, and students would say, "Teacher, Guruji, we come to you with these complex problems of our lives, and all you give us are these simple stories." They almost felt that the teacher is ridiculing them by giving these simple stories. And the teacher said, "See, if you just focus on these stories, they are like a lamp or a candle. The worth of a candle is only 50 rupees or 100 rupees today. And my session also is like this candle. And whatever you are doing with your students is also like showing them a candle. If they just focus on candle, if you just focus on the stories I'm going to tell you, feel amused and enchanted by them, they'll be worth 50 or 100 rupees. But it is in the light of the candle that you can find keys to the treasure of your own lives." I hope my stories, my examples will trigger a new thought, catalyze your passion for teaching and exploration and transforming lives. If that happens, today's session would be of value to all of us. So what is the agenda for today? Very simple. I'm going to just share a few stories with you based on my experience and my interaction with almost now 90,000 plus corporates and students. I've done a lot of long-term programs with some of the states, and I'm going to share some stories. I hope they will connect with you, and you'll carry those stories back to your students as well and classrooms as well. See, life is a journey of making choices. You have made all those choices, including deciding to volunteer your time for eVidyaloka, and that's why you're sitting in front of the screen watching me today. And I have made certain choices in my life that I am on this side and sharing all this with you. Even if we had made one choice differently, we will not be connected today. Question is, what motivates our choices? I think this is the I know this is the question that changed my life. As leaders, many of you might be business leaders, or some of you I think are now retired and enjoying post-retirement life. This question might have come to you: how to keep your team motivated, how to keep your family members motivated, how to motivate students to learn. What motivates our choices? What is the root cause of all our motivations? Let me take you on a journey, because these choices, they define our life. They have consequences, and whatever we have become, it is because of the choices we have made in our life. But if we know what we make these choices on, then I think we'll be able to unlock motivation for others as well, or we will be able to inspire others as well. If you think about it, whatever we do, if I ask you, why are you sitting and listening to me today? You will say, we wanted to learn something new. Why is that? And you will say, because that will help me grow. Why do you want to grow? Because then I will progress, I will prosper, I'll make probably more money, and then I'll take care of my family. Why do you want to take care of your family? What do you mean? That's my responsibility. Why do you want to take care of your responsibilities? That gives me contentment, mental peace. And in the end, you are going to tell me that you are doing this because you want to feel happy. And if I ask you, why do you want to feel happy? There's no question. There's no answer for that. And so true. This is the natural flow of life, hoping that tomorrow would be a happier day. Because when we are happy, we are at our best, isn't it? When we are happy, we are at our best. And as educators, we should also know that when we are at our best, we are happy. When we get that opportunity to utilize our creativity, our full potential to do something beautiful, and especially if it can transform somebody else's life, it is beyond me. When we are able to do that, we are able to do our best. It results in happiness. And this is not pleasure, short term, it is long term happiness. So, pursuit of life is pursuit of happiness, isn't it? Because in the end, if that hope that tomorrow would be a happier day is taken away from me or you, I think life will cease. During my research, by the way, my PhD, my doctoral thesis are on happiness and ancient wisdom. So, like people say, I was so fed up with life that मैंने PhD ही कर डाली happiness पे. So, when I was doing my research, I went to prisons and I spoke to convicted prisoners. Now, there are two kinds of prisoners, those who did something impulsively and those who are like serial killers and mentally different people. So I'm not talking about those, but I'm talking about normal human beings, those who commit crimes. And they will convince you that whatever they did was ultimately somehow they thought will result to a happier life. That's human mind. Unfortunately, on one side, we are saying that our end goal of all our pursuits, it's not only me saying, Aristotle found this, and all ancient literature of Indian or Eastern Asia is filled with this, that end goal of all our pursuit is pursuit of happiness. On one side, happiness is so important. Those of you who have young children or still growing up children, let me ask you, what do you want for your child when they grow up? And you might say doctor, engineer, but you will realize that in the end, you want them to be happy. But the challenge is, and this is where we are coming back to our context of e-Vidyaloka and education that you are imparting. Classes teach us how to do the job, but not how to enjoy the job. Tell me, if you are agreeing with me that ultimately what you want for yourself and for your child is happiness, how much time was spent educating you how to live happy? How to solve dilemmas of life that you and me are facing as we grow up? We were never prepared for it. So we were made employable, but we were not taught how to make life enjoyable. And that's the difference between teaching and education. I think complete education is when we know how to make our living as well as we know how to live in joy. Now, I'm pretty sure you are doing enough about how to make a living and you are teaching that to that students. I would invite you to now think how to impart that second important component so that you start also sharing with them how to live in joy in life, because I think that's where life starts flourishing. What is our goal? I often ask this question when I'm talking to teachers. Now, you are not typically teachers, most of you probably, you are volunteers. But let me ask you, if I ask you, what are you doing? And you will say, I'm an engineer, but for passion, I'm also teaching, I'm a teacher. Is that enough? Is that your role? Teacher? And most of the time when I talk to teachers, that's what they say, they are teachers. Because over a period of time, they are just repeating the same thing again and again and again and again. And they become so comfortable with it that they are almost not growing. And I invite them to think, if you think you are a teacher, how excited it makes you when you wake up in the morning. Is it really exciting? I'm a teacher. Let's think of us as transformers. And you already, I believe, are transformers because you have taken time, you are investing 2 or more than 2 hours of every week on transforming lives. So let's start telling these teachers that you are interacting with or schools that you are interacting with, let's see this concept that you are not teachers, you are transformers of life. Because when you start thinking that way, the next morning when you wake up, it's a different enthusiasm and energy. And let me tell you why I'm saying that you are transformer. It's not some fake jumla that I want to throw at you, some fake word. See, when these young kids are coming to you and you are dealing with students from 5th to 8th grade, When they are coming to you, their canvas of life is almost blank. They have just started their life. They have learned how to do basic things, how to set up that canvas, how to draw frames and how to draw lines, but they don't know more than that, what to do on this canvas of life. And most of us, we are already having this canvas half filled. We have an opportunity to teach these children how to best draw a masterpiece on the canvas of their life. We can teach them the tools how to sketch the canvas, how to create a beautiful sketch. And that, my dear friends, as these youngsters they grow, the next stage of their evolution would be teaching them how to fill colors in the sketch that they have filled for their life. Because if we as educators, as transformers of life, are able to give them that skill, able to tell them how to draw that sketch on this canvas of life, how to pick right brushes, how to pick right paints, and these will be our value systems, our virtues, communication skills, that's when all these children would be able to paint a masterpiece of their own on this canvas of life. And the age group that you're touching, I think that's the age group where this canvas starts taking a shape and foundation of that masterpiece of their life is laid. Now, like many of you probably, I also grew up in a small town in Himachal, a town called Solan, and then 4 to 5 years in a village called Jubbal, which is further up in Himalayan hills in Shimla. Talent was not a problem. We were equally creative or more creative in many dimensions because we had seen nature grow around us. But challenge was right mentoring, right injection of inspiration, confidence, awareness at the right time. And that miss that I always felt has inspired me to be a passionate educator. And that's why I'm going out and sharing this with educational institution, how we transform ourselves from teacher to transformers of life. Because when we do that, we'll be able to touch youngsters at the right time. And you folks have a lot of respect. Ananta introduced me to the whole concept of e-Vidyaloka. And you are touching lives of those students who would not probably gain any of the exposure that all of you can provide them. And what you are doing for them, you can reflect on your life, but I can tell you based on my experiences, you are opening new windows of opportunity, a new light in their life. If you are passionately transforming your learning into their life. And I think we are doing such a, you folks and e-Vidyaloka is doing such a noble cause. Now, the scenario in which all these students that you are teaching, and if you are young, you are growing up, is where the world is changing very fast, really fast. This movie called Terminator used to be sci-fi, a dream movie, fantasy, where the robots can work like human beings, talk like human beings, kill like human beings. And we thought, wow, this was magic. It was all magic. Now, let me take you to a conference that happened recently in Dubai, just a few months ago. This was the stall of Dubai Police.
Wow, what a futuristic police stand.
Look at this. This is a robot that Dubai Police has gotten recently. So science fiction is becoming a tech reality in the world of artificial intelligence. Now, I have a question for you. And this is the question that students should be asking their teachers. What is the role of human beings? Technology was supposed to be our little sister. But today, the times are changing. And that little sister has become the big brother. We see technology now leading human effort in many cases. The question is, what would be the role of a human being in this world of technology? I think this is a question that either being already asked from you by your family members or students, or we should ponder upon. And this is what I say. If it was an interactive exercise, we would have discussed this. But I say these 5 things: creativity, imagination, intuition, collaboration, and ethics. These are still human traits. This is what makes us different than technology, or robots. These 5 skills are still with us. In fact, we can also add compassion to it. Creativity is still a very human trait. Imagination, intuition, collaboration, ethics. My question to you is, if you agree with me that these 5 are the unique human identity trait, this is what differentiates us from everything else, how much time being spent in the classroom to nurture these 5 traits? As you are teaching math, science, whichever subject, I hope you will also keep these 5 things in mind, because this is what will make these youngsters unique. Because whatever we are teaching to them, whatever we are preparing these students for, those jobs might not even exist in 5 years, because some of the jobs that are very prominent today, like data sciences and all that, did not even exist in our time. So what we are teaching them might not be relevant when they get into job market. So how can you teach them something for which we do not even understand what kind of jobs will exist? And we can prepare our youngsters for such a future only if we give them these 5, because these 5 skills will keep them relevant in any change times. I hope you will carry a message back from here. How do you prepare students for the jobs that do not exist today? Think about it. So the future is not going to be about what you know, because whatever I know, whatever you know, within 2 weeks, Google search, I think we can find out information. So information is easily available. We all have similar information. So what is the future? Future would be, what do you do with what you know? And I'm pretty sure, since you are all passionate volunteers, you already feel the need for applying the knowledge versus just giving them knowledge. It's not about what we fill their mind with, it is what we seed their mind with so the mind can grow. It's not about dumping information, it's about sowing seeds of curiosity. So this is how the workplace looks like today, right? Everything has to be collaborative, because collaboration inspires innovation. People are virtually collaborating, physically collaborating. This is how the boardrooms look like. This is what your students ultimately have to do. But this is how we are teaching them. They have to be separate. They cannot use any of the facilities like internet, etc. They'll be put on different desks, different chairs. And then this is how we examine them. Examinations are, strict. You cannot take any help. This is not how life is going to test these students. This is the old model of education, the sage on the stage that most of the students are facing probably in the schools that they are getting education or studying. The sage on the stage. Whatever teacher says is right. Questions asked would be, what is 5 plus 5? Answer is, as you all can give me the answer, 10. And there's only one answer. If you say 9, you are wrong. If you give 10.1, that's also wrong. It has to be 10. Didn't we all go through this education system where teacher told us the question? Teacher also either gave the answers and we wrote notes, frantic notes, or teacher told answer for this question is page 7 to page 11 on this book. And then when the exams came, we had to verbatim respond and reproduce whatever the answer was. Farther you were from that answer, less points you got. So you got trained to be conformant. It was education system of conformity, which does not open parachute of our mind. It is not seeding seeds of curiosity. It is dumping information of the past that is on fingertip in the new modern age. So what I can do, let's just propose this new concept that I hope you are already following, or you should start thinking of this now, the guide on the side. Creating this collaborative environment if you can. I know you are remote, you are utilizing technology, but I am also doing that because I was also, as a motivational or inspirational speaker, it is all about going in front of people, filling them with enthusiasm. But tough times, I also face this very, very difficult times where everything is online now. And I'm now designing new tools, new ways of interaction, so I can create this guide on the side, collaborative experiences online. So you will have to think of those tools, those ideas, etc. as well. But the model has to be the guide on the side, where we are forking these students. And I'll tell you why it is very important and why it is feasible model. So the same question, 5 plus 5 equal to 10. Guide on the side model, same. So what are you teaching with 5 plus 5 equal to 10? You are teaching them addition. You are teaching them mathematics concept. I can do the same by asking students which two numbers when added equal to 10. Now, how many possibilities? In the previous case, there was only one possibility. Here, how many possibilities? If you include integers and decimal numbers, infinite possibilities. And suddenly students would know, oh, 5 plus 5 also 10, 6 plus 4 also 10, 3 plus 7 also 10, and all these combinations are also equal to 10. And this is what I mean by opening the parachutes of human mind, or seeding the seeds of curiosity and learning. Instead of teaching them, make them learn. Let me also share this question, which I'm pretty sure every aptitude test has. What is the next term in the sequence which begins with 0, 5, 10, 15? What do you think should be the next term? Should it be 15, 25, 26, 20, 30? Or none of the above? Now, I'm pretty sure you have answers. Somebody might have said 25, somebody would say 20. Actually, not necessarily any of the above. Depends how do you take the context. If you are fixing yourself into that 0, 5, 10, 15, then you'll be compulsively giving an answer, because it can be any of the answers. A better question would be, argue why each of the choices A through F could be the next term in the sequence which begins with 0, 5, 10, 15. And you'll start seeding new thoughts in the mind of your students. I hope you will use these models, and I have many such examples. In future, sometimes we'll discuss it further. So this is what I mean by guide on the side model. It's like that swimming coach. They say, I learned a lot about history and I became a history buff. Then I learned a lot about psychology. I became a psychology specialist and expert. Then I learned a lot about swimming and I got drowned in the swimming pool. You cannot learn swimming by just reading and practicing in the class. You have to jump. That's what we have to do. Make it more application oriented, make it more collaborative. Here's a beautiful video that you'll feel very interested.
There will always be communities with no schools at all. I went in search of the hole in the wall.
I'm pretty sure you're facing similar audience.
That it's not a question of what the internet will do to India, it's a question of what India will do to the internet. Children love a challenge. Learning how to operate the computer and learning how to use the internet is something that children can do anywhere. If you just put a computer in public, in an open space, then children in the age group of 6 to 12 will learn how to use it on their own, irrespective of what language they speak in, how much schooling they've done, and almost anything that you can measure. The first hole-in-the-wall computer was in New Delhi in 1999, and it was set up in a slum area. Within about 3 months, they learn almost everything there is, including downloading MP3s and graphic equalizers and videos. I asked this child, what is this character? And he didn't know that it was called Mickey Mouse because he couldn't read. He said it's a very nice game. It's a rat game. To him, Mickey Mouse was a friendly rat. India has always prized knowledge over many material things. All our entire philosophy is based on the fact that material things have lower value than knowledge.
What kind of job do you want to do?
So, computer engineer.
An engineer?
Computer engineer. Computer engineer.
All three of you, huh?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
We're moving from a world of have and have not to a world of know and know not. And that's going to be a very big difference in the way in which we deal with each other. The equalizing forces will have to change, hopefully from fighting to friendship.
So I happened to meet this gentleman. We were keynote speakers in one of the educational conferences in Calcutta. But I think for e-Vidyaloka, this is very relevant context, that if you just give students access to internet, instead of you teaching them, give them a curiosity project, find out more information about whatever, you'll be so surprised. Even if you ask them to do something in a different language altogether, like Italian, they'll be able to figure it out. Only thing is there are certain conditions. For example, it should be a monitor in which you should put 3 to 4 students together and then somebody monitoring them from far. So very interesting outcome of this hole-in-the-box project that e-Vidyaloka can utilize in your methodologies. So setting that context, let me share with you what I have innovated or what I have been doing in last few years. Last 10 years, what I realized that if we want to bring transformation, whether it is within us or in the environment, there are these 4 stages. And unfortunately, I work with all these large MNCs and corporates. Many of these stages are not present, and companies end up spending a lot of money, yet the transformation efforts fail. I'm calling this framework that I've created based on my research IOT Framework, Inside Out Transformation Framework. And it has 4 stages: connect, inspire, innovate, and then transform. Now, it is very important. I hope you see these first two blocks. I call them IT, and the second 2 blocks as BT. No, so IT is inner transformation and BT is business transformation or outward transformation. Without inner transformation, business transformation cannot happen. Without IT, BT cannot happen. So what is IT? Because I think it's relevant to all of you. First is connect. Are you connecting with the students that you are teaching? And most of the time, we are not even connected to our children, forget about students. And that's one of the major gaps in educational institutions. Teachers are going there as teachers. I know everything, sage on the stage model. I'll tell you, if you open your mouth, I'm going to shut you up, right? We have to bridge that gap. We have to first connect with these children because they are young. They want us to be motivational forces in their life, catalysts in their life. I've spoken to thousands of students. When I ask them what kind of learning environment they want, top thing comes is we want teachers to be friendly. We should be able to discuss our personal things as well as difficulties with them friendly. But the gap in India between teacher and student is like this. So you can well imagine that connectivity loss causes a lot of opportunity loss. Once we are able to connect with the students, the second thing is, so you should do these, how in corporate environment we have team building games, etc. You should do these mind connect exercises or something that you can create of your own. So they feel connected with you. And what Ananta has told me, all of you have done a fantastic job that you, the students feel more excited to talk to you, although you are speaking through a computer, because they feel less hesitant talking to you than people, teachers who are present physically. Very, very important that we create an emotional connect. Without creating an emotional connect with you through stories and through whatever tone of voice, my words and concepts, you will not even listen to. Once we have connected emotionally, the second part is, can I see the why? Why? And I have learned this, and all of you would have also experienced. There's a very famous quote by the philosopher Nietzsche from Europe. He says, "Give a man a why to live for, and he will bear any how." Most of the time, these students do not know why they are doing what they are doing. For them, education might be a burden. They are coming there just for probably midday meal, or parents are forcing them to go so they can have a meal or whatever, they can get some money. So that why education is important in their life, that why, that inspiration, it should not be pushing them to come to school. It should be, they should feel like coming to school. And you, because you have limited number of hours with them, and there is a school system, in some cases even not, that also is not there, Ananta told me. Our first role is to connect with them emotionally, and second one is invoke in them curiosity to learn. Tell them why school is not a burden, why homework is not a burden. It is something which will flourish them into a beautiful human being. The third part is then utilizing innovative methods, involving them part of the creative process, and utilizing innovations along with them, making them do some projects of their own they find significance in their learning. And finally, whatever we are learning, putting them to put that use and bringing the transformation. So look at this slide 2 ways. First, a relationship between me and you. I have to connect with you. I have to inspire you why what I'm saying is important, and I hope I have done that. And third is, we will sit together and say, what are the innovative methods that we can utilize? And finally, when all that happens, we have to just put that to use. I'm just also looking at the time because 11:40 or so will pause. So I have different programs for all these 4 stages, but that's for some other day. Let me just share with you this, and then we'll take a pause. Laughter is the easiest way to access the joy within. And hope this time will change. And I would love to go to all the places that you folks are running your programs. And I do this laughter meditation, laughter yoga program, which just puts these students in a different zone altogether. After that, you connect with them, you take them to different level of connectivity and confidence. Laughter is the easiest way to access the joy within, and see if you can create movement of laughter. Show them something that makes them laugh, and you will see their innovation their receptivity, everything will change. That is human inner wiring. Laughter makes us get into our peak performance zone. And just to give you a voice, the break from my monotonous voice, because you're just looking at and listening to me, this is one simple example of how laughter connects. A person enters into a subway and he doesn't know anybody, and see what happens in a minute, how the magic happens. Somehow the video is not working, but that's okay. Just laughter connects. Laughter is the shortest distance between two human beings. Okay. Now forget about the number, I think it's a little wrong, but I also created a innovative pedagogy method. I call it Wisdom of Pearl. And I would like you to think about these. How do you make sure all that I'm talking about, creating an environment of collaborative learning, can be brought to life? And I've created this acronym. I call it Wisdom of Pearls: participative, experiential, associative, and reflective learning strategies. Participative, make them participate in an experiment. Experiential, they should live with an experience after you have taught them or said something to them. Associative, connect things with what they already know. If Kabaddi is popular in certain region, give examples related to Kabaddi or cricket or whatever, and people remember, because associations are very strong learning. Reflective, the most potent learning capability. As I said, we are the candles. We have to make our students reflect in the light of that candle. So when I tell a story, I never tell a moral. I said, you now tell me what is the moral of the story. And I have written a book also. Someday I hope we will be able to bring this book to your classroom. I'll show you the book. These are books of 51 stories that I have created for transformation programs. And what it has is just one-page story. And then there are these 4 or 5 questions that are reflective in nature. And through that, we can do we can create a lot of learning. So I would invite you to think of some methods like that. So we can make learning fun. Let me give you an example. I did this set of slides when I was doing my round in Africa. And I was using Vedic mathematics, and these people teachers were so fascinated, and students loved it. So mathematics can be made fun. I'm giving an example. Similarly, whichever subject you are teaching or you're passionate about, figure out how can we make it fun. The students should start looking forward to coming to your class. Multiplying 32 with 11. And you can also throw these sprinkles just to create curiosity and interest in the class. So if I have to multiply anything with 11, for example, 32 in this case, write 3 and 2, sum them and add it in between. Answer would be 352. So much fun. Anything to 11. Now, if you want to multiply two numbers, if they are close to 100, there's a fun one of coming out with the answer. 100 times 101 times 101. So the diagonals are showing how far these numbers are from 100. So it's plus 1 plus 1. Multiply those two, 0, 1, 0, 1, it becomes 0, 1. And then add that number to one of the digits. So 101, one number is plus 0 plus 1, the right bottom one, it becomes 102. So answer is 10201. That would be the answer. Let's take another example of this. 97 times 99. So it doesn't need to be the same numbers like 101 multiplied by 101. It can be 97 multiplied by 99. So you saw how far these numbers are from 100. 97 is 3 away, 99 is 1 away. So 01 times 03 is 03. And you do that right bottom to left up mathematics. So if it is minus, you subtract it in this case. Previously we had added. So 99 minus 03 is 96. So the answer is 9603. Wow, mathematics can be fun. And then this is a multiplication, just saving time, but you know that you can do multiplication of two-digit number in single line. And you can find all this on internet. Now if I'm teaching interdisciplinary examples, mathematics teacher only teaches mathematics. Science teacher only teaches science. Students do not know what is the connection between the two. Why are we being taught? So this why needs to be addressed first. If you are teaching multiple subjects, you have a better control over things. Make sure you show them how science, mathematics, and other skills that they are learning, how they are interrelated. And they are not to burden them, but to make their life more enjoyable and beautiful. If we can answer that why, I think the rest would be easier. Okay. Before I move on, Mr. Ananta, is there any question or anybody would like to ask any question? Let me also see if there's any chat.
Yes, Doctor. In the Q&A tab, we have 4 open questions as of now.
Okay.
So I'll read it out to you. Somebody is asking, is happiness a destination or a journey?
So, is happiness a destination or a journey? Actually, it is both, unless we know that. So, there are 2 phases to it. And great, thank you very much for asking that question. This question is an exploration for me also. So, I often say, see, when we were growing up, people were telling us, happiness is within you. Then you asked, okay, then how do I figure that out? Or just be happy. So, if I tell you, okay, be happy, is it enough to become happy? So this is why a youth revolted and came out with this whole concept of engineering happiness, that I want to take control. And what I could not cover in today's context of program, engineering happiness, through my research, I went and did thousands of surveys and figured out that there are 8 dimensions of life, eight dimensions of life. If we address those 8 dimensions of life, then probability of experiencing long-term happiness would be more. Okay. Now, that means there are 8 dimensions of life that we can nurture and increase probability of experiencing that feeling called happiness. I'll tell you one example. So we often say happiness is journey, not a destination. We should enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Very true. I believe in it. I live that. Yet, if you are not healthy, if you are mentally not healthy, would you be able to enjoy the journey? So these are some of the basic tenets so that you can enjoy the journey. What is the foundation of enjoying the journey? If somebody is not mentally and physically healthy, less likely that he is or she is going to enjoy the journey. If you have very pathetic relationships, would you be able to enjoy the journey? Right? We are human beings, most of us. Now, I'm not talking about that 1% of you who might be already enlightened souls. That you guys are different class altogether. You can sit, close your eyes and feel happy. I'm talking about those mortal beings like me who are sandwiched. So there is a bottom part of the triangle. So if you think of a pyramid, there's a bottom where people are happy. Today should be sunny, and those people unfortunately are suffering because of this lockdown. They wanted today to be the sunny. They can go out, do labor. They have to earn enough money to take care of their family. Today they are happy. They don't have time to think beyond that. So this whole concept of engineering happiness is for this middle sandwich population in which probably all of us fall, or many of us fall. So when we take care of those 8 dimensions of life, the probability of our journey being more enjoyable is higher. Now, having said that, let me take you to 2 levels of evolution. The first level of evolution is pursuit of happiness. That's what we all are. We are trying to achieve happiness in our life. And I'm not talking about pleasure. So don't tell me that if I'm stressed, I can take 60 ml of something and I'll feel happy. So what is the point in listening to all of that you are saying? When you do that 60 ml treatment of your stress, that is gaining pleasure for short term, but tomorrow morning you are going to have a headache, and the problem also would not be resolved. In fact, you are becoming more addicted to that 60 ml. 60 will become 90, 90 will become 120, you will spoil your health and life. So I'm talking about happiness, long-term happiness, right? So first it starts with pursuit of happiness, and once you start enjoying your life and you have balanced those 8 dimensions, then it becomes happiness in pursuit. Pursuit of happiness, and later happiness in pursuit. So I started in pursuit of happiness. Now what I'm doing, I totally enjoy it. It is meditation for me. When I'm talking to you, the world does not exist outside. I'm totally focused on seeing all of you, although I've not seen your faces, and it is happiness in pursuit for me now. I hope I answered the question.
It was wonderful, Doctor. So there is another question, a similar one or along the same lines, that says, based on your journey to many countries, talking with different groups of people, what do people mean when they say, I need more happiness or I am unhappy? What do they mean when they say that?
See, we have the biggest challenge or the biggest block that we all face, and that question also helps me a little bit diverge into very important topic of comparison. All our problems, or I will not say all, many of our problems in life and many of the stresses and many people getting depressed, it's all because of comparison. It is our social comparison that's causing a lot of grief in our life. So when we say, I want to be more happy, I'm certainly comparing with somebody somewhere or something, right? one of my most favorite quote that people love from my programs is, we forget that we compare our inner self with the outer self of others. So you are looking at me today and you are saying, oh, Arun, my God, what a guy. And so I am presenting best of me right now. That's how human beings are, right? We present our best. And if you start soul searching and comparing with what you see on the social media, what you see, what your neighbors have gotten, then we start feeling inferior. And this whole comparison business is causing a lot of stress and depression in our students also. So we have to teach our students, be yourself. Your uniqueness is that you're unique. And your core competency is that you are unique. The human beings being unique is what is special about. So when we say, I want to be more happy, I'm certainly not contented with what I have. And why would that happen? Because I have not started feeling gratitude for things that I have, but I have started thinking of things that I do not have. That's why gratitude practice is considered such a fundamental practice of feeling or living a happy life. But we think it's such a simple thing, hence we don't do it, and hence we don't get benefited out of it. Let me close by saying two sayings that I often share with the audience. One, आजकल, these days, we are not unhappy because we are facing challenge. We are mostly unhappy because of happiness of others. And my father used to say another thing, कि सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. The biggest disease we are carrying these days, what would others say? So we have to be contented within ourselves. And I leave you with this last thought, that I am not inferior to anybody. I keep saying this. This is my mantra. And we need to teach this to ourselves, our kids, and the students. Listen to this. I am not inferior to anyone. That takes care of my inferiority complex. We have to also teach ourselves and others. I am not superior to anyone. I am not even same as anyone. I am unique, and so you are. And since I have this realization that we are unique, I might not accept everything that you are saying, but I respect whatever you are saying, because I might be seeing things from different point of view. Neither you are wrong, nor I am wrong probably, but I cannot accept what you are saying, but I still respect. If we start doing that at our homes, our relationship with our spouses will improve significantly. That I respect what you are saying, not necessarily I accept what you are saying. Because we try to make our point of view accepted to others, frictions happen and a lot of other challenges happen. And because we start feeling ourselves to be inferior or superior, comparison happens, which again erodes our happiness. So in net, be very careful about social comparison. Unfortunately, the biggest fuel which is causing lack of self-esteem in our students and youngsters is social media. Become aware of that, and please make the students also aware of it. Then you will feel more contented with what you have. Once that happens, when you start feeling gratitude, I want to leave you with an example. I was in Delhi. I was buying, these people who are selling this beautiful handicraft material in Connaught Place in Delhi. So they are usually, this lady was from Rajasthan. They are usually from tribal communities and all. So she says, Saab kuch bhi paisa de do, whatever you want to give, sir. We are poor people. So I don't know what happened. Probably that motivational speaker got awoken. So I asked her, okay, you are poor. She said, yeah, we are very poor, very difficult. I said, okay, give me your arm and I'll give you 50,000 rupees. Will you give me your arm? Will you give me your leg? Will you give me your, knowledge of craft, all the craft? And suddenly she started smiling. And I hope all of you are getting the point, right? The moment we start looking at what I have, we feel happy. The moment we start looking at what we do not have, we start feeling unhappy and we want to have more. And this wanting to have more is like drinking salty water when you are thirsty. More you drink, more thirsty you are going to feel. So one day, we'll have to learn the art of contentment. And in contentment lies happiness. Thanks for that question.
Thank you. There are two questions. I will link the two, though they are different. I'll link the two
Sure.
so you can answer in one go. One is that children, young adult are always happy and curious. But as we grow older, we sort of lose that spark. Why does that happen? This is one. Another one is every Monday I start my week thinking I should be positive and grateful and make conscious effort for the same. But
Yes.
it lasts 1 or 2 days. How does one maintain it throughout the month or year?
Wonderful. I have a beautiful slide that I often show in which there is a dog and there's a human, there's a man, and they are looking at the sunset. And I asked, why is your dog happier than you? And then I revealed the slide, and what you see is the dog is only thinking about the sunrise or sunset, but the man is thinking about this whole thing, 10,000 things from his future, past, present, and everywhere. So this is the difference between children and us. When they are growing up, they are, by God's nature's design, we are creative and we are joyful. That's how human has been designed, and they are mostly living in the present. So we sometimes scold them or hit them or something for half an hour or 1 hour. They'll be sad and feel bad, and they'll again come back and hug you. Why? Because they don't dwell in the past and the future. They are not carrying anxieties of the future and regrets of the past for long. Same thing with dog also, right? They are the best companion of human being. They come and they start licking your feet even if you have hit them sometimes back. But as we grow, this is the weakness of human mind. Our challenge is that a dog or any other living being will get punished for a mistake only once, and then they will forget. We keep beating ourselves, hurting ourselves, torturing ourselves, punishing ourselves for the same mistake, sometimes for the whole life. If I get into argument with my wife, we can again go back to the same, why did I marry you, and then start that journey once again. And we can do that again after 1 week. So this unfortunate capability of mind wandering, I talk a lot about it when I do mindfulness programs. Mind wandering is living in the future or living in the past. This is a beautiful cognitive capability human beings have. We can simulate future. We can think of things that do not exist, but we can also utilize the same superpower for our detriment, which in this case, the questions case, mostly happens. We start projecting, we start feeling stressed about things that would never happen to us in our life. One person once startled me. He was on the stage and he says, I'm standing here and I have gone through a lot of challenges in my life, lot of stress, lot of depression because of 2 cancers that I had to fight, couple of heart attacks that happened to me, some of the accidents I had to face, which in reality never happened in my life, he said. So this is our challenge, and that's why kids are. The challenge is the kids are coming out with creative ideas and we are telling them, no. You cannot make a car tire to be red. The tire has to be circular. Why it is octagonal? So we are not teaching them creativity. We are teaching them out of creativity. We are conditioning them to our kind of world. So these new thoughts that youngsters have, we kill them. And then we become you and me. And now when we grow up, I get invited to many corporates. They invite me for innovation programs. And first thing I tell them, for you to become creative and innovative, we have to invoke the kid inside you. We have to bring it alive. Then we do these exercises, we laugh a lot, bring the kid alive. So whole life, the education system worked on killing the kid. And then when we become usable, we have to invoke the kid again, and consultants like me get paid for it. So life goes on. Now the second part of the question was about Monday to Saturday. There are 2 ways of living life. One, difficulties and problems will come to your life uninvited. You will not have to worry about them, they'll come to you. But moments of joy, we have to many times work on them. That's why this program, Engineering Happiness, that we can engineer moments of joy in our life. Now there are 2 ways of living life. I was living the first way that this our participant friend also has probably included or intended. Either you live gas powered or you live solar powered. Choice is yours. You will always remember that, right? Unsustainable and sustainable. Gas powered or solar powered. Gas powered means Monday you go out on Sunday, enjoy with your family, you fill up your tank of passion with this gas, petrol, diesel or whatever. And then Monday you start with full enthusiasm because gas tank is full. And gradually you are burning that gas tank because you are not, there's no way to recharge that gas, right? And by Friday you feel totally exhausted. Now the second way of living life is install some solar panels, and I hope this conversation will help you install the solar panels. So you start on Monday with enthusiasm, but as you go through the week, these solar panels should get charged further, and Friday should be the most exciting day for you. That will only happen when you'll start squeezing joy out of moments in the day. You should find those moments. You find some friend has a birthday, celebrate it as if it is your birthday. Who stops you from that? You found out there is an anniversary of a friend, go and celebrate with that friend. Tell, either you celebrate or I'm bringing a cake and let's celebrate. Figure out those moments. Figure out. We have to find those moments of joy. We have to create those moments of joy to make life celebration.
That was beautiful. There are a few questions. I think I can club them. I take the liberty to club them.
Sure.
Is yoga an enhancer to be more happy? This is one.
Yes.
Another one is, does spiritual connection contribute to happiness? This is one. And two questions that say where to find more information about the mindfulness and related things you spoke about, and what are those 8 steps to happiness, where to find them. These are the questions.
So first one I'll take about yoga and spirituality and their contribution to happiness. Now, my pursuit of living this second part of my life was that we have made these concepts that are part of our life so complex, and they are being presented to us in such a way that we feel in awe, but we do not understand or bring them in our life. Like somebody sitting there on a tall seat chanting mantras, it sounds so beautiful. There's nothing wrong in it. But I ask people, what did you take away? What did you put in life out of it? So I feel in awe, but I did not take any. My purpose was to research all these concepts and bring the purpose out of these concepts and make it relevant to the current times. So when you start looking at yoga and spirituality that way, it becomes very meaningful. Now, what is spirituality? Spirituality is understanding spirit of life. What is spirit? Spirit is something without that thing, the thing does not exist. Like spirituality of fire is heat. Without heat, there is no fire. So what is spirituality? Spirituality is basically understanding functioning of our life. I have a program, I call it inner operating system, understanding inner operating system and upgrading inner operating system. Now, all of us, we understand all other operating systems. If the phone says low battery, laptop says low battery, we rush towards the power socket as if our life depended on it. But when was the last time you did it for your own self? That you were feeling de-energized and you said, I want to do something to re-energize, right? We just sulk and we just take another, some other easier method to come out of that. We don't think of recharge. Now, yoga and spirituality is meant for that. Even if you buy a toothbrush has instructions how to use it, user's instruction. But where are the user instruction for living a joyful life? Nobody gives that to us. So spirituality, in its essence, is basically a user manual of living a happy life. And yoga takes care of multi-dimension. Yoga is not just a complicated asana, as many of you would be already aware. Yoga means a lot more than just asana, physical postures. That's just one part of yoga. For example, Ashtanga Yoga talks about 8 different things about yoga, right? Now, you will ask me, yoga, does it help in happiness? One of the dimensions of happiness is healthy mind and body, as I mentioned to you. So yoga certainly helps maintaining healthy mind and body. Now, spirituality is a little wider concept in which you can also include healthy mind and body. For that, you will utilize yoga and many other exercises, aerobics or whatever you want. But there is another part of it. See, somebody has asked about 8 dimensions. Let me reveal some of those dimensions. So I said healthy mind and body. Second, I said relationship. You can have healthy mind and body, and we say health is wealth. Tell me one thing, Ananta. If you don't have a purpose to wake up in the day, you don't have a purpose to live, you are going to say, what the hell I have to do with healthy mind and body? Why should I wake up 6 o'clock and walk when I have no purpose to live? That means purpose is important. Now, you have a life's purpose, but you have no energy, you have no, mentally you are insane, then also that purpose lives without any, fruition in life. So that means it is not that out of those 8 dimensions, 1 or 2 would be enough. All 8 are enough. All 8 are required. The percentage or weightage might differ. When you are a youngster, you talk about necessary, I call it, and needful prosperity. You might need prosperity, but you still need purpose and you still need health, although that might not be your priority right now. When we go into 40s and 50s, mental health, physical health, all this becomes more important. Money is not a priority, but meaning in life becomes very, very important. So you see how these things are connected. And spirituality is all about exploring what is the purpose of life. What am I contributing beyond myself that is causing joy in the life? I every day pray, and if you like this prayer, add it to your prayer. I every day pray, God, give me a good, healthy mind, body, and soul, so I can create a happy life for myself, and I can become reason for others to be happy in their life. It is said that in Egypt, you know that they have built huge pyramids and all that, and they believe that human beings go to heaven, and there's a journey they have to take, and in heaven they will be judged, etc., etc. And it is believed that all that judgment is simply two questions. If those two questions answer is yes, you are included into the heaven, and answer is no, then you are not getting pathway to heaven. First question, did you live a joyful life? Because joyful life doesn't mean life of pleasure. Joyful life means you had inner peace, you had contentment, whatever you did was virtuous, and you enjoyed whatever you did, and you did not have any guilt feeling with whatever you were doing. So if you said yes to that, happiness is bigger than just feeling good, right? It is about living a life of peace, prosperity, and usefulness without hurting anyone, including yourself. First question, did you live a joyful life? If the answer is yes, take one step. Second, were you the reason for others to live a joyful life? Did you cause happiness in the life of others? If the answer is yes to both questions, you are included into the heaven. And these two answers only, or would be provided better by a person who does introspection, who thinks of purpose of life beyond himself or herself, and that, in my mind, is spirituality. The third question was about where to find more about it. Go to arunb.com. I'll share that in the last slide. My website is arunb.com. My website has a lot of information. You will also connect, please do connect with me on my Facebook and YouTube channel. Facebook channel is Arunb TV, or you can again go to my website, you'll find all the information. And my YouTube channel is Arunb TV. You'll get a lot of videos there as well. So you are very welcome to stay in touch. Connect with me on the LinkedIn. Once again, on my website, you'll find LinkedIn information also. So my website is very easy to remember, www.arunb.com. I will show that to you as a last slide. I want to share one story before we go to the next question, because I think this is very important in the context of today's conversation. Now, I know that we are running out of time. Is that okay to go a little bit over, or what is the protocol?
Yes, we can take another 5 minutes, no problem.
Sure. I want to share, now I'm going to, see, power of belief, you all know. I'm not going to go through that, because you know that, and you guys as mentors, teachers can fuel that power of belief in the students. But what I want to share with you is another story very close to my heart. Learning happens when someone wants to learn, not when someone wants to teach. Remember that. So our role, in fact, for this will be our greatest contribution to the life of these youngsters that you are teaching. Inspire in them a curiosity to learn. Then your role would be over. They'll figure out ways. So this is what is happening these days. It is more teach oriented. The opposite of that, or reflection of that, is learn. And if we invoke learning, we don't have time for it. I think the questions made this program more relevant, so I would just focus on questions. I just want to share one last story with all of you. This is, I think, very relevant in today's context. This is a story of Golden Buddha, and it's a real story, by the way. If you go to Thailand, in Bangkok, you can visit that place. It's called Temple of Golden Buddha. It's called Wat Tiramisu. So there was this Buddha, this Buddha statue was lying outside, huge, and it was a clay Buddha, and there was a shelter made to it by the king. And soon they figured out that, this became very popular, and king said, why don't we shift this Buddha into a permanent structure? We'll build a beautiful temple and we'll move Buddha there. And they brought a crane to pick this Buddha. Now when the crane came, they realized, when the crane tried to pull this Buddha based on the clay weight, the crane broke, because this Buddha the wires broke, because this Buddha seemed to be heavier than what they expected it. And when it fell down, the monks felt, heartbroken that, we might have damaged it. So new crane had to be brought. That night it rained. They put some tarpal and all that, so it rained. So this head monk wanted to see that we have not caused damage to Buddha. So in the night he went and he was shining torchlight. At one place Buddha was fractured, so he was very troubled by it. When he wanted to see how much is the damage, as he shone the light, he saw something shiny inside. So in the morning he told everybody that there was something shiny when I was looking at it in the light. So they took a chip out and they figured out that it is metal inside. So chip by chip they removed all the clay, and what they found was there was a 24 karat 456 kg golden Buddha inside. Now they went into the story. What happened here? We were keeping this 450 kg of gold out in the public for this many hundreds of years. Where did this Buddha come from? And they found out that that place was a very popular temple, but Burmese army attacked and they were looting all the gold and everything. So these monks, they covered that golden Buddha in clay, so this Burmese army would not know. Now, unfortunately, Burmese army killed all the monks and nobody knew the secret. And this day in 1950s or 60s, when this monk showed the light and he saw golden Buddha, that secret was revealed. When you go to Bangkok, you can see this golden Buddha. In fact, this is a picture that I have taken myself, and you can also see in the museum the shell that was taken out. They have built that shell back to that Buddha. Why I'm sharing this story with you, all of us and these youngsters that you are teaching, the noble intent that was invoked in your mind to transform these lives, all of us have this 24 karat golden Buddha in us. Unfortunately, because of the social conditioning and the problems that we face in our lives, we have all these clay patches put on us. This is negativity that we receive from society, from everybody around us, that we get into this shell. And something like that crane failing or that monk coming and shining that light has to happen before we can start taking these clay patches out and reveal this 24 karat Buddha. And I believe you are that head monk. You are that person with the chisel who has that role to play. These youngsters that you are teaching, they are all 24 karat pure gold. We don't even know. Some of them may be a president material. Some of them may be the future missile scientist material. We do not know. All of them also came from this kind of background. You have a role to play to chip off that clay that society might have put on them, telling them how useless they are, telling them they cannot compete with people in the village, in the bigger towns and this kind of school and that kind of school. And you have to invoke that power of belief in them. You have to give that why to live for in the mind of these youngsters. I always say, that's when you will become from teachers to transformers of life, when you reveal that 24 karat. And this is your role. You are the one who are the sculptor that can transform these lives and help them reveal that masterpiece of their own in their life. You can create many masterpieces. Now, this is a popular picture. You know, this is Mona Lisa. Canvas probably 500 rupees. Paint would be another 5,000 rupees or maybe 10,000 rupees. Do you know the market value? The market value is upward of 550 crores, 550 crores. 5,000 rupees material became 500 crore masterpiece. A lifeless canvas, because of Leonardo da Vinci's skillfulness, is now 550 crore. Just think, what can you do with a canvas of life that you have opportunity to paint? Now, my mission in life is to uncover the greatness within people and leave people happier than I found them. I hope I was able to do that today for you. This is my coordinate. My role is to take you from where you are to where you want to be. And when you run between A and B, you reach me, arunb@arunb.com. And my website is arunb.com. You run between A and B. So I hope this is not just a one-time meeting. You will stay in touch with me for life. Share your experiences of how you became transformers of life for these young minds that desperately need help. Pleasure. If there are any other questions, Ananta, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you. Thanks to you. Thank you. And thank you to Poonamji for inviting me. I don't know if she's also on the call. I would love to hear her thoughts also. And it's such a noble initiative that eVidyaloka is running. I'm so glad wherever I can. When I read about this, when I saw the invite, I was very happy I'm able to play some part into transforming lives of those who have 24 karat gold in them. And
The
our
pleasure.
role is to give them fair opportunity. I'll be very happy to contribute to your initiatives. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having me.
thank you, thank you, Doctor. The pleasure is truly ours. The session has been amazing. I'll just leave you pass on two questions to you, and then we can close. So the first
Okay.
question says about creating laughter and everything. Is it associated with a sense of humor? And if it is, how does one improve those skills? This is one question. And the last question for today would be, how do we discover the why in our lives?
Wow. So first one is easier. Second one is easier also. First one is about laughter. See, I learned this art of body-mind connection. Laughter is not just mere laughter. It has an ancient heritage. Laughter is a switch that is configured in our mind. When we laugh, suddenly the opposite of stress system, which is called parasympathetic nervous system, gets triggered in our mind. Because in the ancient time when we were facing danger, suppose all of us are going, imagine that we are in a forest, in a thick forest. Our life is always at threat because we are always in fight and flight mode. But I have to go out of comfort of my cave because we have to get food for the family. As I'm moving, suddenly I see a branch move and it looks like there is some animal. So what will happen? I'll immediately, body will get me into the stress state, which is not bad. Stress was for fight and flight. It puts us in superpower mode. The moment I'm in stress state, a lot of my body functions change. I'm hyperventilating, my blood starts pumping, my blood pressure goes up, heart starts beating fast, etc., etc. And this stress state, as I'm saying, it was lifesaver, not bad at all. But now, when I saw that, it was just a branch. So it's called release theory of laughter. So I saw it was just a branch, so I will just laugh. And it was a primitive sound that was easy to make. It was our response. So all my clan members know that there's nothing to be afraid of. So come down back from stress states to normal states. So laughter became that switch, which even today, even if you do fake laughter, it brings in that positive process of parasympathetic nervous system getting triggered and bringing you back from fight and flight to rest and digest state. So laughter has a lot of benefit, even if you laugh for fake. And if you guys are interested, you can read this book called Anatomy of an Illness by Dr. Norman Covens, Anatomy of an Illness. A very good book to give somebody who's going through a long-term illness. Because this gentleman lying on the bed was told that cause of all your misery because you lived a negative, stressful life. So living there, he thought, if negativity and stress can cause disease, can positivity and laughter cause health? So he started practicing. What he did, he was watching some videos in which he will laugh. And you can also exaggerate laugh. So he realized that every 20 minutes of laughter is giving him peaceful sleep. So he started this science of that even if you force yourself to laugh, it has positive benefits. So you are asking me if you have a sense of humor. It is just question of losing your inhibitions. So a simple thing when you were a child, a ant and elephant joke could make you laugh. But then we grew up being sophisticated human beings. Now, if you tell me a simple joke, I'll not laugh, because if I laugh at such a silly joke, then I'm compromising my status of some sort. So when you start enjoying everything, start watching some positive content. Just for laugh is very good. No words or language to understand. There's a series on YouTube just for laugh. Pick anything that makes you laugh. And once you learn this art of laughter for no reason, like our children, until the age of 2, they can laugh for 300 times. Even in sleep, they are laughing. Why? Nature is inducing that laugh for them to live a joyful and less stressed life. You can also do that. Laughter yoga is a concept. So I do these laughter yoga sessions. Time changes, and when we can do these seminars across all your locations, Ananta, I'll be very happy to do that for the children. It is amazing, how it changes your life. Laughter yoga and laughter meditation has changed my life. So all of you should experience it. The second part of the question was How do I find why? Sometimes we spend too much of time, in fact, whole life, trying to figure out this question of why I am here, what is the purpose of my life. I invite you to think differently. Because this question came to me also when I was not enjoying what I was doing. I was getting paid a lot and everything else, but somehow I was missing that why. That why becomes easier to find when we go beyond ourselves. As long as you are selfish, you are thinking about your family, your initiative, your experiences in life, your joy, that why would not come. Why comes, or you start enjoying that, living the why, when you go beyond yourself. You start contributing to life of others. You become reason for others to be enjoy or joyful. So how do you find why? The solution comes in 4 lines. It is in Hindi, Urdu, whatever. I will translate it. ना किसी पीर से पूछो, ना किसी फकीर से पूछो, आंख बंद करके बैठो और अपने ज़मीर से पूछो. Don't ask this why from anybody, whether it is God or anybody else. Just close your eyes, sit in meditation. That means close your eyes and introspect. What is that you are doing that takes you into timelessness? You don't imagine, you don't even know how much time has passed. It can be music, it can be dance, it can be giving lectures on a stage, like it is for me. Public speaking is my meditative practice. So instead of wasting your time on finding your why, see what do you enjoy, what helps you lose yourself, and make that your why. Go out and make a difference in life of others. As I said, when we live for ourselves, our joy, that is stage 1. But when we become reason for others' joy, you would start enjoying, and you will not ask me this question, how to find why. You would have found your why. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, all participants. On behalf of the eVidyaloka CEO and all the team members of eVidyaloka, our volunteer teachers, and the participants, we really thank you. Everyone has been listening, and a lot of interesting questions and a lot of interesting comments. Thank you, Doctor. It has been a pleasure. The recording of this session will be available on YouTube, and all the participants will get a mail. If any of you have missed any part or would like to share, you can use that. There is also a live video on Facebook that has been going on, and people have been watching there as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doctor, for this wonderful morning.
Thank you very much. And कहते हैं ना कि भगवान क्या करेंगे अगर भक्ति नहीं होंगे. So heartfelt gratitude to all of you, those who are listening and participating here. I'm so glad I got this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. And I have a selfish purpose of sharing these thoughts, because I cannot be present in all those classrooms around the country, and you folks are. I hope you will become messengers of whatever you felt was of value. And it will not be another session. It's so nice of you. Somebody said that it was one of the best sessions in 4 months. So nice of you. It's a good positive reaffirmation for us also, that whatever we are sharing is connecting. But I would feel even more happier when you will send me an email saying that whatever Dr. Arun, whatever you shared with us, I was able to bring some of the concepts to the classrooms, and this is what happened. I was able to create a magic. When I received that email, you would have contributed to the joy of my life as well. So I hope I will receive that email soon.
Sure, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.